Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely.
Today we're taking a closer look at Morocco.
Ooh, that's a great choice.
And we got some really interesting sources for this one.
Yeah, we do. A mix of encyclopedia entries and economic reports.
And they paint a picture that's way more fascinating than your typical travel brochure.
Right. It's amazing how much depth there is to this country.
Yeah, you think of Morocco and you might picture bustling markets or vast deserts.
Right, the classic images.
But did you know that Morocco actually has the 5th largest economy in Africa?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive when you look at the numbers.
And it ranks surprisingly high in quality of life indexes.
Yeah, it really does make you rethink some assumptions you might have about the place.
Yeah, so we're talking about a country where Roman ruins share space with high-speed railways.
That juxtaposition of the ancient and the modern is just fascinating.
It's geographically closer to Europe than to much of Africa. Yet it's deeply rooted in North African and Arabic culture.
It's a real crossroads.
How does that even work?
Well, even the name Morocco itself kind of gives us a clue.
Oh, really?
It comes from the Arabic word al-Maghrib,
Okay.
which literally means like the land of the sunset or the west.
Oh, wow. So it's right there.
Yeah.
On the edge of Africa, looking out at the Atlantic.
Exactly. It's that liminal space that I think is so captivating.
That's so evocative. The land of the sunset.
Right.
But it had other names, too, throughout history, hasn't it?
Yeah. Tons. Like what? Well, for instance, the Turks called it Fas,
Fast.
which came from the name of its medieval capital, Fez.
Oh, interesting.
And there's this legend that the city's founder used a pickaxe to kind of mark its boundaries.
A pickaxe.
Yeah, a pickaxe, but not just any pickaxe. A pickaxe made of silver and gold.
Whoa, hold on. A silver and gold pickaxe. Talk about making a statement.
Right. That's one way to start a city.
Yeah, so we've got this land named for sunsets, founded with fancy tools.
Yep.
And then what? What kind of historical roller coaster are we in for here?
Well, hold on tight,
Okay.
because Moroccan history is a whirlwind.
Oh boy.
We're talking powerful Berber dynasties, vast empires,
Right.
events that shaped not just North Africa, but also parts of Europe.
Now you've got my attention. Give me the highlights reel.
Okay, well, for starters, you have the Almoravid and Almohad empires.
Okay.
Emerging from the 11th century onwards. These weren't just local rulers. These guys controlled much of the Maghreb
Wow.
and even parts of Spain.
So they were major players on the world stage.
Yeah, not just a regional force.
But hold on, didn't the Arabs come in at some point too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
When was that?
Starting in the 7th century, you have this influx of Arab tribes,
Okay.
adding another layer to this already diverse cultural mix.
So many different influences.
Yeah, and this Arab presence would later play a key role in the Reconquista,
The Reconquista.
where Christian kingdoms gradually retook the Iberian Peninsula from Muslim rule.
So we're talking centuries of conflict and shifting power dynamics.
Big time.
Huge ripple effects across the region.
Exactly. And, all of these migrations and power struggles had a profound impact on Morocco.
In what way?
Well, it influenced its demographics, its culture, even its genetic makeup.
Wow.
It's a story that's just woven into the fabric of the nation.
It's amazing how history can leave such indelible marks.
Yeah.
So- But the story doesn't end there.
Oh, no, there's more.
What else happened?
Well, you have the Portuguese trying to control Atlantic trade routes in the 15th century.
Okay.
Then comes the era of French and Spanish protectorates in the early 20th century.
Yeah.
A period of major political and social change.
So from medieval empires to colonial influences, Morocco has seen it all.
It really has this incredibly long and complex history.
But eventually it broke free, right?
Yes. In 1956, Morocco declares independence.
A huge moment.
Right. A major turning point.
But even that wasn't the end of the story, was it?
No, not quite. They still assert claims to territories like Ceuta and Melilla,
Okay.
Spanish enclaves on the Moroccan coast.
Oh, wow.
It just shows how complex those post-colonial relationships remain.
Yeah, it sounds like the past continues to echo in the present.
It does in so many ways.
But let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Morocco's geography is incredibly diverse, isn't it?
Oh, it's striking.
Like, what's so striking about it?
You have the towering Atlas Mountains, the vast Sahara Desert, and then these fertile coastal plains.
Wow.
It's one of those places where you could ski in the morning and surf in the afternoon.
Talk about a land of contrasts. It's like multiple worlds packed into one country.
Yeah, it really is.
But how has this geographic diversity actually impacted life in Morocco?
Well, it's shaped settlement patterns, for one.
Okay.
About 95% of the population lives north of the Atlas Mountains.
Really?
Yeah, the mountains create this natural barrier,
Right.
influencing climate and accessibility.
So the mountains have essentially divided the country into distinct cultural and economic zones. It makes sense that people would gravitate towards the more fertile and accessible regions.
Right, and then on top of that, you've got these distinct climate zones.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Mediterranean alpine arid, each with its unique plants and animals.
Wow. So diverse.
Yeah, it's a biodiversity hotspot.
From snowy peaks to scorching deserts, Morocco really does have it all.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
But we're not just talking about geographical contrasts, are we?
No.
What about the political landscape? Is it as diverse as the terrain?
I'd argue it might be even more fascinating.
Really?
Morocco is this unique blend of the traditional and the modern.
Interesting.
We're talking about a semi-constitutional monarchy where the king holds significant power.
Wait, so it's a monarchy but with a constitution?
Yeah.
How does that even work?
It's a balancing act.
Okay.
The king has real authority, but there's also a parliament. Election's a constitution.
Wow.
It's a system that's constantly evolving as Morocco modernizes and tries to find its place on the global stage.
So it's not your typical European-style monarchy.
Right.
There's this interplay between the king and the elected government.
Yeah, constant negotiation in a way.
What are the implications of that for everyday Moroccans?
Well, it means there's a constant negotiation of power.
Okay.
The king sets the overall direction, especially in areas like national security, while the government handles day-to-day affairs.
Sounds like a delicate dance between tradition and democracy.
It is. It's a very nuanced system.
But how does this unique political structure impact Morocco's economy? Is it holding them back, or are they thriving despite it?
Actually, Morocco is doing remarkably well.
Really?
It has the 5th largest economy in Africa, which is pretty impressive.
5th largest. That's huge. What's driving this economic engine? Is it all about oil or something?
Not at all.
Okay, but what is it?
Tourism is a major player. People are drawn to Morocco's exotic culture, stunning landscapes, and historical sites.
Right.
Then you have agriculture, which is still vital, especially in rural areas.
I've also heard that they're making big moves in renewable energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are they building some of the world's largest solar power plants?
They are. They've invested heavily in renewables.
Smart.
Aiming to reduce reliance on fossil fuels and become a leader in sustainable development.
So they're not just following the trend, they're shaping it.
Exactly. They're being proactive.
And haven't they also made massive investments in infrastructure?
Yes.
Like building the largest port in Africa.
That's Tangermed, a remarkable feat of engineering.
Wow.
It's a strategic gateway connecting Africa to Europe and beyond.
And let's not forget about their high-speed railway.
Oh yeah, the first in Africa.
It's like they're building bridges to the future, literally and figuratively.
Right.
They're making it clear that they're a modern, connected, and ambitious nation. But what about the soul of Morocco?
Yeah.
The part that can't be measured in economic indicators. What about its culture?
Moroccan culture is captivating.
In what way?
It's this incredible blend of Arab, Berber, Jewish, and European influences.
Wow, a real melting pot.
Yeah, you can see it everywhere.
I think of like colorful souks, intricate mosaics,
Oh,
the enchanting sounds of traditional music.
you're getting there.
Am I?
The architecture alone reflects this rich heritage.
Oh, yeah.
You have ancient gems like the Zara of Aït Benhaddou.
Okay.
It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site that looks like something straight out of a movie.
Like stepping back in time.
Right.
But then you have modern marvels too, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Back what?
Take the Hassan II Mosque in Casablanca.
Okay.
One of the largest mosques in the world. It's breathtaking.
So from ancient fortresses to grand mosques, Morocco's architecture spans centuries.
It does.
And the music, I imagine it's just as diverse.
Oh, it is. Give me some examples.
You have everything from soulful Nawa music,
Okay.
which has sub-Saharan African roots, to the intricate melodies of Andalusian classical music.
Influenced by Spain, and we can't forget Malhoun poetry.
What's that?
It's a traditional form of storytelling that's been passed down for generations.
Wow. So much richness.
Yeah.
It's this blend of old and new, local and global, that makes Moroccan culture so vibrant.
Exactly.
But it's not all sunshine and roses, is it?
Wow.
Even in a country as fascinating as Morocco, there must be challenges.
There are, even with all this progress,
Yeah.
we can't ignore the human rights concerns.
What kind of concerns are we talking about?
Well, freedom of speech is a contentious issue.
Okay.
There have been cases of journalists and activists facing trouble for criticizing the government or the king.
Yeah, I've read about that.
It's a reminder that even in a country with so much to offer, there are still shadows lurking beneath the surface.
Right, a good reminder.
And LGBTQ plus individuals face discrimination and legal challenges.
Okay.
Women, despite progress, still encounter obstacles in achieving full equality.
So it's a mixed bag progress in some areas, but still a long way to go in others.
It's a reminder that no country is perfect, no matter how vibrant or promising it may seem.
It's about understanding the nuances, appreciating the different perspectives that shape the Moroccan experience.
Exactly.
It's a country of complexities, where triumphs and challenges coexist.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So we've journeyed through history, explored the landscape,
Yeah,
peeked into the political system,
we have
and gotten a taste of the culture.
a little taste.
What stands out to you as the most significant takeaway so far?
For me, it's this tension between Morocco's deep-rooted traditions
Okay.
and its drive to embrace modernity. It's a country constantly navigating this delicate balance,
Right.
trying to find its place in a rapidly changing world.
I agree, and for our listeners, I think the key takeaway is that Morocco is much more than meets the eye.
Yeah, you can't just put it in a box.
It's a country of surprising contrasts and complexities.
Definitely.
It's a place that defies easy categorization.
It does.
It's ancient and modern, Arab and Berber,
Yeah,
Islamic and secular,
all at the same time.
and it's a country worth exploring further.
Oh, absolutely.
So we've covered a lot of ground, from the name itself to this unique blend of history, geography, and politics. But I think it's time to zoom in on the heart of it all, the people.
You're right. To truly understand Morocco, you have to understand its people, and that means getting beyond those simple labels.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I know the majority of Moroccans are Arab, but it's not just a simple Arab versus Berber story, is it?
Definitely not. Official statistics on ethnicity can be tricky, but we can look at language and cultural markers to get a sense of things.
So how did the Arabs become the dominant group? Was it like a sudden takeover or something?
Not at all. It was a gradual process starting in the 7th century during the early waves of Islamic expansion. Over centuries, Arab tribes migrated across North Africa, bringing their language, culture, and traditions.
So it was more like a slow blending of cultures rather than a conquest. What about the Berbers, the indigenous people of North Africa? How did they hold on to their identity amidst this Arab influence?
The Berbers, also known as the Amazigh, have been in North Africa for millennia. They have their own languages, traditions, and social structures, and while many were Arabized, a significant portion retained their Berber identity, especially in mountainous areas like the Rif and Atlas ranges.
It's fascinating how geography plays a role. Those mountains must have provided a kind of isolation, allowing them to preserve their culture.
Exactly. It's not just about language and customs, it's a deep connection to the land, a sense of belonging. They have this strong oral tradition passing down their history and knowledge through generations.
It's like a living library, but it's not just Arabs and Berbers, right? There are other groups too, like the Haratin, the Sahrawis, and all. It seems like each group adds another layer to this complex cultural tapestry.
You're absolutely right. The Haratin, sometimes called Black Moroccans, are believed to be descended from sub-Saharan Africans. They've faced marginalization, but have made undeniable contributions to Moroccan culture, especially in music and dance.
And then there are the Sahrawis, the indigenous people of Western Sahara, a disputed territory mostly controlled by Morocco. They have their own culture and language, and their struggle for self-determination has been a source of tension. It's a reminder that Morocco's story isn't without its difficult chapters.
Indeed. And you have the Nala descendants of enslaved people from sub-Saharan Africa whose music and rituals are now a treasured part of Moroccan heritage.
It's like Morocco is this incredible mosaic, each piece contributing to the overall beauty and complexity. But how do these different groups interact? Is it all harmonious, or are there tensions below the surface?
It's a complex dynamic. Like any society with such diversity, there have been historical tensions, especially between the Arab majority and Berber minority. But there's also a growing recognition of the importance of embracing diversity and fostering dialogue.
I've read about efforts to revive Berber language and culture, even integrating it into the education system. It seems like there's a movement to reclaim and celebrate that identity.
Exactly. The Berber language Tamazight was officially recognized in 2011, a significant step towards acknowledging their heritage.
So it's like Morocco is rediscovering its roots, recognizing the contributions of all its people. It's an ongoing process, but it sounds like they're on the right track. What about religion? Islam is dominant, but is there room for other faiths?
Islam is the predominant religion, with over 99% of Moroccans identifying as Muslim. But the Constitution guarantees freedom of religion. There are small communities of Christians and Jews, though their numbers have declined in recent decades.
So it's a Muslim-majority country, but with a commitment to tolerance, on paper at least. And I imagine even within Islam, there's diversity of thought and practice.
Absolutely. Islam in Morocco is not a monolithic entity. There are different interpretations and practices reflecting the diverse cultural influences within the country.
It's layers upon layers of complexity, which makes it all the more intriguing. But we've been focusing on the people as groups. What about daily life in Morocco? What would it be like to actually walk down a street in Marrakech or Fez?
Picture yourself in the Medina, the old city. It's a maze of narrow alleyways, a sensory overload. Imagine the aroma of spices, cumin, saffron, ginger mixed with the sweet scent of mint tea brewing in a nearby cafe.
I can almost smell it. And what about the sounds?
You might hear the rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer, the call to prayer from a mosque, the lively chatter of merchants bargaining in the souk. It's a symphony of human activity.
Sounds captivating. And of course, the food must be amazing.
Moroccan cuisine is incredible. It's a fusion of Berber, Arab, and Mediterranean influences. Imagine tagines simmering with tender meats and vegetables, fragrant couscous with savory stews, sweet pastries dripping with honey and almonds.
My mouth is watering just listening to you describe it, but it's not all about the exotic sights and delicious food, right? What are the everyday challenges people face in Morocco?
Like any country, Morocco has its struggles. Poverty and unemployment are persistent issues, particularly in rural areas.
And I imagine access to good education and healthcare can be a problem, especially for those in marginalized communities.
That's right. And while infrastructure has improved, there are still gaps between urban and rural areas.
So even in a country with so much to offer, there are still real struggles. It's important to acknowledge that.
Morocco is a land of contrasts, not just in its landscapes and cultures, but in the opportunities and challenges its people face.
It sounds like an incredible place to visit, though. The kind of place that stays with you long after you've left.
It definitely is. Morocco gets under your skin, captivates your senses, and challenges your perspectives. You can lose yourself in the Medina, wander through ancient ruins, and gaze at the stars in the vast desert sky.
It sounds like an adventure for the soul. But sadly, our time in Morocco is coming to an end. What are your final thoughts as we wrap up this deep dive?
For me, the key takeaway is Morocco's resilience. This is a country that has faced so much conquest, colonialism, internal struggles, yet it has emerged with a strong sense of identity and a determination to forge a better future.
It's inspiring, isn't it? They've managed to hold on to their traditions while also embracing progress. A delicate balance, but they seem to be making it work.
They are, and that raises an important question for our listeners to ponder. How will Morocco continue to navigate this balance between tradition and modernity in the years to come?
What role will it play in a region facing so much change and uncertainty? These are questions worth considering as we move forward, but for now it's time to bid farewell to this captivating country.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Morocco. We've only scratched the surface, but hopefully we've sparked your curiosity to learn more.
And who knows, maybe this deep dive will inspire you to experience the magic of Morocco firsthand. Until next time, keep exploring. Okay, so we've unpacked the name, we've traced its history, wandered through its diverse geography, peeked into its political structure, marveled at its economic progress. We even got a little taste of the vibrant culture and daily life.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
It has. But what does it all mean? What have we really learned about Morocco?
I think what's truly remarkable is this ability to embrace these seemingly contradictory forces.
Oh, like what?
Well, tradition and modernity, Islam and secularism, Arab and Berber identities.
Mm-hmm.
It's a country that seems really comfortable with complexity.
Yeah, it's like they're constantly walking this tightrope, trying to find that delicate balance. How does that balancing act actually play out in the lives of everyday Moroccans?
Well, you might see a young woman in a headscarf scrolling through social media on her smartphone.
Okay.
Or a traditional craftsman using centuries-old techniques to create intricate designs that are then sold online to a global market.
It's this fusion of old and new, this embracing of technology while honoring tradition that seems to define contemporary Morocco. It's like they're weaving the past and the future together.
Exactly, and it's not without its tensions.
Right.
There are definitely clashes, between conservative and liberal values, between those who want to preserve traditional ways of life and those who embrace globalization and modernization.
It's this constant push and pull that makes Morocco so dynamic, so full of potential, yet also so unpredictable. It's a country that keeps you guessing.
Keeps you on your toes, that's for sure.
It's a country on the move, navigating a complex and ever-changing world.
Yeah.
And this kind of brings us back to that crucial question we posed earlier.
Which was it?
How will Morocco navigate the balance between tradition and modernity in the years to come?
Big question.
What role will it play in a rapidly changing world, especially in a region grappling with political, economic, and social upheaval?
Yeah, there are a lot of factors at play.
We've seen how Morocco has skillfully leveraged its strategic location, its cultural richness, and its economic potential to carve out.
They've done a really good job of that.
It's not just surviving, it's thriving.
Yeah.
It's a key player in Africa.
A bridge between Europe and the Arab world.
And a nation with a growing voice in international affairs. Morocco is stepping onto the world stage with confidence.
They're not afraid to assert themselves.
But with this growing influence comes increased responsibility.
Absolutely.
Morocco faces the challenge of addressing internal disparities, promoting human rights, ensuring that the benefits of economic growth reach all segments of society.
Wow.
It's not just about shining on the world stage.
No.
It's about taking care of your own people.
Exactly. It has to be a holistic approach.
And it must navigate the complexities of regional geopolitics, balancing its relationships with its neighbors, particularly Algeria.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
While asserting its interest in the Western Sahara, there are a lot of diplomatic plates spinning in the air.
It's a delicate balancing act.
But one that Morocco seems determined to undertake. They're not shying away from these challenges.
They're not. It's impressive.
And that's what makes Morocco so fascinating to observe.
Yeah, I agree.
This willingness to embrace change, to confront its challenges head on, and to strive for a better future while honoring its rich and complex past.
It's a country that looks forward without forgetting where it came from.
It's been an incredible journey exploring the multifaceted world of Morocco.
It has.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
Yeah, we have.
But we've gained valuable insights into what makes this nation tick. It's been a real eye-opener.
It really has been a lot to think about.
We've uncovered hidden gems, delved into the heart of its culture, grappled with its complexities. We've seen the beauty and the struggles, the triumphs and the challenges.
And it's all part of the story.
And now, dear listener, it's your turn. We've taken you on this deep dive, but the exploration doesn't have to end here.
No way.
We've planted the seeds of curiosity.
Hopefully.
But it's up to you to nurture them.
Absolutely.
Take what you've learned and go further.
Yeah, delve deeper into the things that piques your interest.
As we wrap up, we encourage you to continue exploring Morocco on your own.
Yeah, there's so much more to discover.
Delve into its literature. Immerse yourself in its music.
Yeah.
Savor its cuisine.
Absolutely.
Engage with its people. There's a whole world waiting to be discovered.
It's out there just waiting.
And most importantly, keep asking questions.
Yeah, don't stop being curious.
Don't be afraid to challenge your assumptions.
Right.
And dig deeper.
That's how you really learn and grow.
Morocco is a land of endless fascination.
It really is.
A place where the past whispers through the present, and where the future is being written with every passing day.
So much potential.
It's a country that will stay with you long after you've turned off this podcast.
Hopefully we've inspired some further exploration.
So pack your curiosity and an open eye. And embark on your own Moroccan adventure. You won't regret it.
You won't. It's an experience unlike any other.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.